everyone, and welcome back to the Unbothered podcast, where we talk about America's fifth sport, MTV's The Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about the premiere of season 2 of AllStars, which is streaming on Paramount Plus. Drops every Thursday. Just dropped this Thursday with the first episode. And we have a special guest with us this episode to chat. And that is the one and only Mike Lewis from, as I'm sure you know, the Mike Lewis podcast.
What's up? How you guys doing? Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks for joining us. Absolutely. We love to have people pop in because it gives a different viewpoint opinion, and we can have new fun stuff to talk about. Everyone watched the episode, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. I'm glad, Frankie. I can't tell you how many times we've done a discussion and Frankie's like, I haven't even watched yet.
It's always Frankie.
He knew I was coming, so he made sure to tune in. Isn't that right, Frankie?
Yeah.
You did us all.
We'll go with
We'll go with that. Yeah.
If you are not following us already, and you really should be at this point, you can find us on YouTube at the Unbothered Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. On Facebook, we are The Challenge Unbothered, and we also have a second group, Entertainment Unbothered, where we talk about everything else in media land that's not always challenge related. On Instagram, we are at The Challenge Unbothered, and Twitter, UnbotheredPod1. So check us out, follow us, send us a message, whatever. Mike, do you want to shout out what your media handles are in case they don't know already?
Yeah, I have a new Instagram page for those of haven't seen or checked it out. It's called the Mike Lewis Podcast. My Twitter, where most of my updates come, Mike Lew 52, and obviously if you know me from my channel, then it's just Mike Lewis Podcast. But yeah, it's just about that.
So go follow, go subscribe if you haven't already. And he has tons of interviews with all sorts of different cast members from over the years of the show. And a lot of them are very interesting. So definitely check them out if you haven't. So we're going to get right into it. Like I said, this was the premiere of the second season of AllStars. We have, if I counted correctly, 8 returning players from AllStars season 1. And then we have 16 brand new players. Did I do that math right? Yeah, no. Yes, I did.
24?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I could rock the challenge math. I can math. I'm already better than half the cast already. So as I said, we're back. They're back. I'm so excited. I know most of us are because we're seeing some faces for the first time in 18 years. Even longer than some of the All-Star 1 cast. So just to recap, the returning 8 people who were on the first season: Derek K, Nehemiah, Katie, Kendall, Latarian, Tech Money, Darrell, and John A. So everybody else is new for All-Stars. Some of them we just saw a few years ago. Like I said, some of them it's been 18 years, 20 years. I mean, it's insane. So I'm going to kind of go through who the new cast members are, what they've kind of been up to since we've last seen them, how we're feeling, who we're most excited to see, and all that good stuff, because that's pretty much the first half of that episode, in my opinion, is really just reintroducing us.
I think your math was off. There's 9 because there's Tech and his scepter. That was
how could I forget? But no, you're right. So excuse me. There's 9 returning players and 16 new players, or rookies, I guess, if you want to consider it that way. I'm gonna throw on a piece of gum and that'll help my dry throat. I hate when that happens. So right off the bat, I think one of the people a lot of us were most excited to see, we haven't seen her since, well, technically Cutthroat, when she came in as a mercenary along with CT, but her last regular season, I forget exactly which one it was, but how can we forget the infamous Beth, Tina, Beth, and of course the punch heard around the challenge world, no, it wasn't the best punch ever, is the one and only Tina. Like I said, we last saw her as a mercenary in Cutthroat, and she still definitely has a mouth on her.
We love that.
I I was never much of a fan of hers, but I actually liked her on this first episode.
She's hilarious. She's way funnier when they're not bleeping out what she's saying.
Right.
I love all the F-bombs. She's a woman after my own heart. And basically what she's been up to is being a stay-at-home wife and hanging out at the pool. I mean, she's living my dream.
Living the bougie life.
Exactly. Like, I wish I could do no kids, no nothing.
That's what I do.
Well, yeah. For now. But she did
now.
have a job.
I did, yeah.
Then of course we see Brad, because they're all coming in on these boats, so it's like different shots at the different people. I mean, Brad is probably one of the more recent all-stars that's new on this season, not counting Darrell, that we saw not that long ago. The last time we saw him was obviously on Final Reckoning when he was paired with Kyle. His beard game is very strong. He's got a strong beard game going
Out of
on.
control.
Yeah, you know, I just hope his eyes don't pop out of his head. I'm always very worried. They're always like real big. And it's very concerning. We don't know what's happening. Jasmine, we haven't seen her since Free Agents when Laurel sent her home gracefully and graciously. She had destroyed her in that Ball's In. She is now a married mom of 2. Her kids are super cute. I can definitely see them in her, and she's ready to kind of kick some ass and show that she can do it, even though it's been like 8 or 10 years or something crazy. Of course, we see Derek Chavez, who we recently did get a chance to chat with in interviews, so check it out if you haven't already. We last saw him on Rivals 2. He's just been sort of living his life doing the thing. So we see MJ. He hasn't been back since the Duel 2. He even says his daughter, who is now 14, was 2 years old when he was on that season. That's mind-blowing to think about. It's 12 years ago. Can't believe it's been 12 years since he's been on the show. I think he looks the same. He is now married with 2 kids. But according to the T accounts, maybe not married anymore. Or at least not.
Because I
happily
follow
married.
him on Instagram and he hasn't posted pictures of his wife in years. So I don't know
Which
how
maybe she just doesn't want to be posted. I don't know. John A definitely doesn't have any of her husband on hers though.
Yeah.
Just
And
saying.
So
And the
You-
first time they showed them, they were like in the screen together.
What were you gonna say, Frankie?
do what you want with that information.
Yeah, just
you
sprinkle it in. Just take it as you will. Take it as you will. Oh my gosh! Oh, okay. There we are. This is the down part about writing notes on my phone. Ayana has not been on my screen since Battle of the Sexes 2 in 2004. That was almost 18 years ago.
How old were you, Mike, in 2004?
I don't know. I might have been walking around in diapers.
Oh my God.
Kicking and screaming.
I was a junior in high school.
I'm not even gonna say.
Tia's like,
Um,
I'm just not gonna
I
go
was
there.
like 11,
hmm,
I think.
Me too. Yeah. Or 12.
Sure.
I can't do math.
I can't math.
I can't
Fails the challenge. I think she looks fantastic. She's a mom of 4. I can't believe she has teenagers and toddlers. If I have a kid, once they hit 13, no, not doing it again. Though I'll probably be in menopause by then, but still, like, bless her. 4 kids is 3 too many, in my opinion. Sophia, we also haven't seen since 2004. She was on that same season, Battle of the Sexes 2.
I was
think she
actually
also
really
looks
excited to see
fantastic.
her.
Yeah, she looks fantastic too. I just love
I-
seeing them.
I feel like everybody looks fantastic. Like they all have aged well.
That's what I was gonna say. Everybody, guys and girls included, it feels like everybody has taken their turns in a straight line and just sipped from the fountain of youth. Like
Yeah.
backwards of age. Like it's ridiculous.
I will
Maybe
say
it's part of like a blood oath that they took with MTV.
maybe when they sold their souls
Might have
with their
been.
first
Yeah.
contracts. It's very possible. I will say that I think Leah looked the most different.
Well,
I
because
mean-
she looks, not to be mean, she looks like the only one that's had work done. Like everybody else looks pretty.
Yeah, I don't know
Whatever.
what it
You know what I mean?
is. Yeah. I don't know if it's just because her hair's a different color and like she's just
I think her
older
face
now.
looks different.
It does
The
look a little
tattoos.
different.
What's that?
It's the tattoos.
It's not the tattoos. Whatever.
I mean, she looks great. She's just the only one, in my opinion, that looks, in my opinion, a lot different than she did when we last saw her, which was like Inferno 2. She said it was like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about because her first season was obviously Real World Paris, and that was like the first season of the Real World I like really watched because I was in high school. And it's like she was with CT. It's just wild to think about, in my opinion. Absolutely wild. So after we kind of see Sophia, they also show us Ryan Kehoe. Again, time we saw him was Fresh Meat 2.
Love
I love
him.
Ryan. I love him. I still want to interview him.
Was he on Fresh Meat? Was he an original Fresh Meat person?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what seasons has he done? Just Fresh Meat and Fresh Meat 2?
And he did, oh my God, I forget. There was one in between those two.
He did like a couple. I think he was on he did Gauntlets 3, The Island, Duel 2, and then Fresh Meat 2. Yeah.
Oh, the
I always forget
island.
about the island.
I put the island out of my mind.
Yeah, Gauntlet 3, Duel 2, Island. He made the final on the island. Fresh Meat 2 was his last season.
Oh.
And I think he was partnered with
Teresa.
Teresa. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Laurel was with Kenny. That's right. And then of course there's Jody. I
Huh?
haven't seen her since she won the duel in 2006. And another one of those female champs that we never see again. Because, for some reason, that's what the challenge does. She is married. She's got kids. She works at an Army wellness center. She looks fantastic. She is teamed right back up with her Road Rules brother, Derek the Pitbull Kaczynski,
I love their little conversation they had. That was awesome.
right in the beginning. Just
Mm.
already talking game. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised that they ended up partnering up in the first challenge. I mean, they started their very first show together. So and they were always allied when they did the challenges together back in the day anyway. Tyler Duckworth, the teacher from North Dakota,
Or he said you can call him Zaddy.
Zaddy. He's Mr. Thickums, and I'm here for it. And I feel like he could totally cause a lot of drama if he wanted to. Could you imagine if Shane was on this season?
Oh my.
With Tyler and Derek and whew, honey, it would be fireworks. I
That would be a
love
lot
it.
of drama.
Oh, and Tina thrown in there. Oh my God, it's insanity. I can't even. I'll just have to dream about it.
That was your last
Melinda.
interview, right, Mike? Tyler?
Yeah. The other day.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
Maybe-
listened yet. I will.
Maybe they can all be on season 4.
that would be great. We'll talk about that. Melinda. She's so freaking gorgeous. Like she looks better
So
now
Gorgeous.
than she did when she was originally on the challenge. We last saw her on Battle of the Seasons 2012. Ironically enough, I just watched that episode where she got eliminated with her and Danny. Currently married. I think she has like a young kid, like almost a toddler, and she runs a podcast. What's the name of the podcast? I forgot. I know you know, Tia.
Blonde Moments.
Blonde Moments. There you go.
Mhm.
I've
They
only
talk
listened to like a
about-
couple
We
episodes.
talk
But
about true crime and all kinds of stuff. It's awesome.
I'm so proud of her. And again, she looks fucking gorgeous. Then there's Steve, which I'm going to be really honest, I don't remember him at all. I mean, he was only on the Gauntlet. He was from Katie's original season of Road Rules, and he is a hand model.
Like George Costanza.
I think his hands look better than George Costanza, if I'm honest. And
His
then they
hands-
compare,
His hands are tiny. You're little.
well, I don't know. On camera, maybe when you zoom in, it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Maybe.
And they were all like trying to compare him to like Jason Momoa. I'm like, just because a guy has long dark hair, it's a facial hair, doesn't make him Jason Momoa. Like, stop trying to make it
Agreed.
happen. There's only one. Damn it. And then there's Kahada.
Well,
Oh, I love Kahada so much.
I think everybody loves Kohana.
I'm like, I didn't think he could get better looking, but he did. I just like him with his long hair. I mean, he's just living the Kahada life. He's got a girlfriend and a dog, and he lives in a log cabin in Montana on a 70-acre sheep farm and does general contracting work. I mean, it's just appropriate. And when was the last time? Was Bloodlines his last season?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. God, that sucks. But
It's
I'm happy
crazy
he's
how
back
long
too.
it's been for all of them, though.
I know, when you really think about it,
Yeah.
especially when you hear like that they've gotten calls since their last season that they would say yes to, and they didn't get cast for whatever stupid reason casting had. You know, we have Janelle coming in again. Shook's fan fucking tastic.
She's always
She's-
been so incredibly beautiful, and she has not
Beautiful.
aged a day.
Not at all.
And
She's
she's a
married with
badass.
kids. Yeah, she's a surgical nurse.
Yeah.
Like, talk about doesn't buckle under pressure. I mean, and as we kind of saw, her and Jarrell are already creating an alliance. They're both in the Bay Area. They're like sneaking in there. I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of tries to ally with Tyler, because they were, I believe, on the same season of The Real World, Key West, you know, with Johnny Bananas, Paula Walnuts, all that good stuff. And then last but not least, the one and only Miss Casey Cooper. She's 34 now, married and an accountant. I'm surprised because that I'm surprised she was an alternate the first season and they didn't have her on the main cast, but I'm really glad she's on the main cast this season. I would have loved to also have seen Cook,
Yeah.
but I'll take what I can get. And
Casey,
that's all the
so-
new ones.
She just cracks me up. She's just
She does.
funny.
She is, and you can tell she's still funny.
Mhm.
Of all the new people and even the returning people, who are you most excited to see? We'll start with Mike.
That's a loaded question. You know, I could give the cookie cutter answer and say, "Oh, I'm happy to see everybody," but honestly, I mean, there's the obvious answer of Tina. You know what I mean? You know, seeing her back, but I think, honestly, the more like wild card I feel like of who I'm happy to see would honestly be Tyler, because if you want to analyze this from not only just like, you know, an entertaining standpoint, like the personality standpoint, which I feel like Tyler brings a lot there, of course, incredibly witty. If you really want to analyze this from a perspective of just competition based, you know, you've obviously got your studs that stand out like on paper of like Brad, Darrell, you know, MJ's obviously, you know, the 6'3" athlete, former athlete. You've got all these guys that are, you know, have been more or less in the spotlight more recently, but for like a casual fan that like doesn't know Tyler's like backstory, like his last two shows that he won back to back, and those were like two of the hardest finals to ever take place, and they were on back-to-back seasons in which he won. So those 11 years off may have paid him dividends, because say if like that was 3 years ago and he was off back-to-back wins, he's an instant target, you know what I mean? So I think for someone like Tyler, he could kind of slip under that radar a little bit, you know, when you've got guys with more notoriety like Derek, Darrell, Brad, even Letarian, who last season had a strong showing. Like, these are guys that are more, you know, obvious threats, whereas Tyler, I feel like, can slide under the middle grounds a little bit.
Wasn't he sick? Was he sick for one of his wins? Was that?
Yeah, he had food poisoning in the
Yeah,
Rival
yeah,
1
yeah.
final, and
Right.
they won.
That's right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. There was like several that had food poisoning, like Jen and Mandy on
Yeah.
that
Oh
season.
yeah.
What the
That's
hell did
right.
they eat? Did they ever say what they got food poisoning from?
I don't think so.
They went to a restaurant the night before. It might have been like, I want to say Chinese food, but I could be wrong. And nobody was really eating it because I forget what, maybe they're all at the bar mostly or something like that. But him and Jen decided to go and eat it. And I guess like something was up with the food. And when they got back to the house, they both just like, it was coming out both ends. And like
Ooh,
Tyler said that had it probably occurred during like the middle of the season, production probably would have DQ'd them. That's how sick they were. But since they're already like right before the final, they were kind of just left it up to them. Like, whatever you want to do is entirely up to you. And, obviously the rest is history, right?
that's insane.
That is insane.
Especially when
I'm-
you consider that he outperformed Johnny in that final too, despite that.
yeah, that's wow. Oh my God. I bet you they don't go out to eat dinner anymore the night before a final.
Oh,
After that little fiasco. Tia, who are you excited to see?
So I don't know, honestly. Everybody, but I'm really kind of excited to see how Janelle's gonna do. Because I just always liked her. And so I was really happy when they said she was coming back. So yeah. But Casey too. Casey and Katie. I like the two of them just because they're funny and sarcastic and good TV.
They are.
You said new and returning.
Yeah, out of any of them, new and returning.
And tech too. I like all the funny people.
Me
you
too.
know? Yeah.
Mr. Frankie.
Obviously, Tina, and yeah, I don't know. I guess all of them too, except like the ones I don't know, like Steve. I mean, you don't really care. And Kahada. I'm pretty excited to see Kahada.
Yeah. I know Mike said don't give the pageant answer or whatever, but I really am excited about everybody. The only one that I was kind of annoyed with, I don't know if I should say it, was Iona. I just thought she ran her mouth a lot. She just simmer down, like, but everybody
Probably
else
just trying to like boost herself up. It's been 18 years since she's been here, 14 or whatever the craziness is. Super excited to see Kendall back. I absolutely love Kendall. I root for her every single time, especially after we got to talk to her. I'm like, okay, now I absolutely stan her. I'm so happy for Kahada. I don't know why. I freaking love Kahada. I mean, everybody does. And I'm just excited to see, like, because I always felt like he was underrated, but a pretty decent competitor and performer. So I would like to see how he does, kind of coming back into this environment. And like kind of everybody else, Tina, because Tina always cracked me up. Like the shit that comes out of her mouth, I feel like that could be me. And I'm like, and again, I love that it's not censored on AllStars. It just makes it so much better. Every other word out of her mouth is the F word. Fuck it's this, like, fuck that.
The whole vibe is different and it's just better. Like,
it is.
I just get excited when it's coming on. I'm like, yeah, because the music's good. And TJ is like all relaxed and super hot. He's hot, but whatever. But yeah, he just seems more relaxed and just like into it.
Absolutely.
And there's no probably more relaxed because there's no bombs.
There's no bombs to defuse.
There's no bombs for them to detonate.
I think they nailed it as far as returning veterans go, like the season 1 returners, that is. I think that everybody that should have gotten an encore here deservedly got one, I think, for who really brought something to the table from season 1, from maybe be a competitive standpoint, say like a Kendall, and like, she was heavily involved. Tech, in the short time that he was there, really resonated with a lot of people and like the confessionals and stuff like that. So I think they really nailed it in that department with like who was returning from season 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too, especially because we kind of talked about when season 1 was airing that ideally we were kind of like, we don't really want too many returning people in the first couple of seasons that they do this, just to give an opportunity for, more returning that we hadn't seen in so long. But like you said, the ones that they did choose to come back, I'm fine with. I like them all. I don't have a problem with anyone. Jemmy's not on here. Thank God. She's not on this
we love
season.
Jemmy.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Sometimes she has funny confessionals, but she just kind of, I can't take her in very big doses.
Tia loves that Jemmy.
She like tap dances on my very last nerve.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing that we don't have to talk about her this season at all. As you said, the music is always on point. Love the music. Backstreet Boys in the beginning. I mean, hello, with the slow-mo camera music, just the way they did the introduction, showing up to the beach. Janae was already schmoozing. She was kissing Tina's ass. I mean, she's smart. Shower Tina with compliments, and she will love you. Just fluff her ego, and she'll leave you alone. And Janae's really trying hard to play that social game because she knows, she's like, I can't fly under the radar like I did last season, especially because I'm sure a lot of the new returning people probably watched AllStars 1. They saw how well she did, considering she had just had a baby. And now it's been a little bit of time. She's in a little bit better shape. So they're probably definitely going to kind of maybe pay a little bit more attention to her, or maybe they'll still underestimate her because size-wise, she's, still a bit smaller. We're going to find out.
Well, and I found it
weird.
I think she was talking to, was it Sophia? And she said she was more intimidated coming into season 2 than she was season 1.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
And it's probably
because
stacked. It is pretty stacked. Like, I mean, yeah.
If nobody else, Jody's there.
Jody's there.
Janelle even.
Janelle.
Yeah.
Tina. I mean, Tina's not. Yeah.
That's intimidating, all of those people that you're going to have to go against. And Kendall, cannot sleep on Kendall. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I would be a bit more intimidated too. And, like you said, TJ just appears more relaxed. He is ready to laugh at them. Mm-hmm.
He can't wait to bring out the old school antics and twists and turns. And I love them running to their rooms. Derek gave Nehemiah a run for his money, getting to the rooms. Like, he was like right there. Though I was really afraid one of them was going to fall and bust their face open. Can you imagine?
Or something.
Yeah. You're finally back on the show after 8, 9, 10 years, and you have to go home before even the first daily because you were racing to your room and busted your face open on the pool concrete. That would be me.
They're all older, so they might have broken a hip.
Yeah, I'd have been Tina in the back, just be like walking. Where's the bar? I'm not running for shit. I will fall and I will die. Derek, or I already said Derek gave Nehemiah a run. Tina's hilarious. And then, of course, as Ayana says, Tech strips himself of his kingly garments to get the party started. Shows his scepter to everyone else. It blurred out for us. They don't uncensor that stuff. And jumped in the pool. And he was the only man to have taken off all his clothes. All the other dudes left their pants on.
Pretty sure he did that on the first night in the real world too.
He did. Him and Ruthie.
Yeah.
Can you do it on season 1? I don't think it was like actually shown, but I think they showed it in one of the when they go like, previously on.
Oh, he was episode. In the river thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those previously on last episode, and it was him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The man just likes to get naked. I mean,
who could fault him? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, hello.
From what I've heard,
I mean, the blur kind of gave us an idea. Just
big blur. I'm just saying. They covered a lot of range.
I went and Googled. I didn't find anything.
Oh, they're probably not on the Reddit.
I saw his butt. That's all.
his little booty. Well, according to Ayana, as well, judging by that confessional, it was a grand sight indeed. And she is a fantastic confessional about it. like I said, all the other guys start jumping in the pool, but nobody else got naked. Melinda jumps in, John A is chatting with Sophia. Like you said, she mentions she's a little bit more intimidated, but then she kind of like talks about how, yeah, I'm here with two of my original castmates from my original show, Derek and Jasmine. She's still pretty close with Derek. Derek went to her wedding a couple years prior, but apparently it was the first time she's seen and maybe even really spoken to Jasmine since Free Agents, which I thought they were on pretty decent terms. So I think that was kind of weird. I wonder why. And I definitely wonder if that will play out this season, like if they're going to clash again.
I don't know. I mean,
Honestly,
even you can be friends with people, but if you live in different states, it's not like you're going to hang out or talk all the time. So maybe it's one of those situations. I don't know.
I think I called BS on that. That they weren't not on what you said, on what John A said.
Yeah.
As far as not really, keeping in touch, I'm pretty sure they had like a Cancun Zoom reunion during like the pandemic. So I don't know if I'm buying in all that.
Yeah, and just kind of like what Jasmine was saying later about like, oh, me and John A, we're a unit now, and we both have kids, and I know they've got my back. And I'm like, you wouldn't really say that about somebody that you really haven't talked to in 8 years. So could be John A kind of downplaying it because she's probably like, ooh, if they think I have too many like outside friends in here, they're gonna try to target us and break it apart, because that's what happens if someone has an alliance or you have close friendship. The smart thing to do is break it up as soon as you can. We've seen it happen time and time again.
You got to remember too, though, like at the end of the day, it's like a show, right? And they're gonna typecast and like the storylines and whatever else, right? As you could see from like the trailer for the season, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a coming ahead. When they ask you those questions in the confessionals, they're probably like, oh, when was the last time you saw Jasmine on the show? They're going to want to make it seem like they're not really talking. So that way, when the eventual clash happens, it fits the story that's being told. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Whether that's the real case, remains to be seen, but
we will find out. I hope anyway. And Tina is being Tina and trying to egg on Leah to basically strip off her silk dress and jump in the pool with everyone else. And Leah's like, no, bitch, I'm not doing that. And I'm not jumping in with my dress because it's silk. And who's going to pay for my dry cleaning? And I'm like, girl, why'd you wear silk to the challenge? I would not. Like, I could only imagine that your shit can get destroyed. Like, who's washing the clothes? I don't think they have I don't know. I don't think I would take silk onto the challenge house. In my personal opinion, we see Darrell and Janelle quietly plotting. And then we see Tina's other half come out, Anit, aka Derek in a wig and a dress, pretending to be Tina. And I fucking loved it.
I thought he looked pretty nice.
He looked great. His Tina's impersonations were spot on. My room better be cold, bitch. Like, it's perfect. And this must have been the beginning of their beautiful friendship that we know that they have. And I hope to see more Anit in the future. Me personally. And then of course it's daily challenge time, or as I like to call it, senior citizen recess. Got that from Tech. And it's a type of challenge called a boarding party, where they basically have to go from like one little speedboat onto a platform, run up, get a skull, go across some balance beam in the middle of the water on some other boat, and like dunk their skull in the basket, and they can't fall off the beam. And it's going to be in partners, so they have to choose their partners right away. Tina gets immediately snubbed by Nehemiah, which is ironic considering maybe he shouldn't have snubbed her and he'd be in a different position after the end of this. And she ends up being with Steve because Steve needed a partner too. And she's like, we can do this. He doesn't talk. I talk too much. It'll be perfect. And Jasmine and Ryan end up going first, and they basically scoot their butts across the balance beam. They don't walk it. They don't run it. Nothing. It's slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. and pretty much just what everybody does. Nehemiah tried briefly
So
to walk.
yeah. So skipping ahead on that. So when TJ like reprimanded them about it, I can't imagine anybody would have been able to walk across that. Like,
Yeah, because it was, I mean, look at what, as soon as they saw Nehemiah attempt
Right.
and 2 seconds later crack his
like
nuts on the
crack
beam,
his balls, right?
they're all like, nope, we're
Yeah.
not trying to walk it. Not even Kehoe, who has walked across thinner beams and more instability ever in his life, scoot and boogied across the beam like everybody else.
Right.
And when TJ did the thing at the end where he was like, you have to work for this, and so the punishment is double eliminations, and I'm like, I'm sure that was the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
For sure. Of
Need an
course. Come
excuse.
on.
And you just use this as a reason, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was the whole time.
TJ
I
probably
might
just also wanted to see people wipe out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be in the minority here, but like I genuinely kind of like the fact that they scooted across. I feel like in a situation like this, shouldn't strategy come into effect here? I mean,
Absolutely.
think smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? Nobody remembers, who walked across the thing if they don't finish first. You know what I mean? Like, I think,
Good point.
yeah, I feel like
No,
this
I'm
is,
totally with you on that.
yeah.
I
mean,
don't
that's
think
what I
anybody
thought.
could have walked across that. It just was too unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I
they're
think
old.
someone would have been able to.
What?
Someone would have been able to. I don't know who, but someone would have been.
Might have been you,
able to.
Frankie. You want to
Yeah.
give that a try?
No thanks.
We can recreate this for you, and we'll let you have a whirl. We'll tape it. So if you do make it across, we'll send it to the challenge gods. Maybe you'll get a phone call. I don't know.
For the 50th time, I do not know how to swim, so water challenges are a no-go for me.
But what a life vest on you. They're wearing vests.
There's no pools in Denver. Come on.
Yeah, there's no oceans. There's no. We have rivers.
All I hear is excuses.
You still should learn like how to swim.
Don't ever go on the challenge, Frankie. And if you do,
That
you're
ship
never
could
going to
sail.
be my partner.
I learned how to swim before I could walk.
Really? I don't know when I learned to swim. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just know how. I know I was taught at some point in my life, but I just don't remember when.
Okay, but honestly, right now it's like too embarrassing to try to go learn how to swim in like a swimming lesson class. Like,
Leroy learned on YouTube University.
That's so not embarrassing.
okay,
You could use YouTube. Look, Frankie, when I buy a house that has a pool, you can come visit me and I'll teach you how to swim. Okay, and then no one has to know but me and you and Matt and the dog. And
as you're recording me, to put me on.
I wouldn't do that to you.
I will extend the invitation as well.
Oh, I think she even has a pool.
I have
So,
a pool. You can
She's
come
already
swim.
got the first step is taken care of.
I'll teach you.
Yeah, and the dogs can teach you too.
Oh, I don't let my dogs in the pool.
Oh, okay. Well, just to you then. Just to you. Teach
My
you.
bulldog is like a baby hippo. She can't swim.
Well, yeah, trust me. I don't put Leroy in the water either.
Yeah.
My dog Leroy, he also cannot swim. Just like the human Leroy. So surprisingly, Tina and Steve did really well. They barely lost out to Jody and Derek, who are the first winners of the first daily challenge, and obviously they're excited because they're safe, but Nehemiah and Ayana are automatically going into elimination because Ayana was the only one who fell off of the beam, so it didn't even matter. Time was not a factor. She was the only one who fell, so they automatically lost and have to go into elimination. And the winning team has to choose 4 options to be put in against them. 2 men, 2 women, and then I guess the house will vote and decide what man and woman are going to go in. Would you want to win the first challenge?
Yes.
I would want to win every challenge.
Of course, of course. don't know if I'd want to win the first challenge. I don't know if I want to piss people off that fast. It's like winning the first challenge or winning the first head of household in Big Brother.
Well, because then you could just cut deals with everyone except the people you're gonna put in, and then you're safe for like ever.
Unless
I
the
mean,
people
not
put
realistically,
in
but
come back and or it pisses off a bunch of other people.
I think it just
I'm not
depends
sure.
on like your social stance in the game. Like someone like Derek, for example, I don't necessarily feel like it's like as imperative for him to win the first challenge because I just feel like, someone like him would be really well protected in the house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think many people would gun for him right off the bat.
Mhm.
Whereas like someone like a Steve probably needs to win the first daily challenge. Otherwise, he's probably going to be the one on the block based off of just social connections,
It's a true point. It's very true.
Well, and also if you gun for somebody like Derek, he is more than likely coming back. So do you want that on you too?
That is true as well. If you were in Jody and Derek's position, what 2 guys and 2 girls would you choose?
Wow.
If I was Derek, Tech and Steve. If I was Jody, Casey and Tina. No, Casey and Leah. Casey and Leah.
Tina, are you crazy?
Not Tina.
You really want them fireworks the first night, don't you?
Honestly, I'm probably throwing in Tyler or Latarian because they're probably strong enough threats, but at the same time, not the most socially connected. You know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously not going to throw Brad or Darrell, which right off the bat, those are guys that are probably, if I'm Derek, those are probably my 2 biggest competitions guy wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that there's a very high likelihood that they're going to be pretty socially connected with the rest of the house. And there's also a high likelihood that they could come back. Whereas I feel like if you throw in Latarian or Tyler, those are also 2 strong competitors, but with less social ties that even if they do come back, you're not like 100% like doomed for, you know what I mean? Like hypothetically, obviously Derek would never do this to Darrell, but like say if he did throw Darrell in, more than likely Darrell's, going to come back and, then he could actually sway the votes, next time there's a guy a day and Derek's on the block, whereas like someone like a Tyler or Latarian doesn't have as much, pull as like a Brad or Darrell, I feel like.
Well, and then like, do they have any ties to Nehemiah that they would want to pick somebody that they think he could beat so that he would come back and be their numbers?
Actually, that's a very good point. I mean, Nehemiah is already up for elimination, I believe, because he came in last. But say if he wasn't, if I'm Derek, I'd probably go Nehemiah actually. But that's obviously not an option. So I would. Yeah.
Yeah, it would depend on if I wanted Nehemiah and Ayanna to come back or not, because I assume it's probably like AllStars 1 where you lose as a pair. So like it's not like a whatever guy wins individually, whatever female wins individually. I'm not sure because they don't show us some elimination this episode. If I wanted,
went so fast.
I know it did.
It was over.
It should have been like a 2-hour premiere. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
If I wanted Nehemiah to come back, I would probably give him somebody that I think he could take without too much of an issue.
Like Ryan or Tech, maybe.
Yeah.
Even
Derek.
Well, and like you said, Steve, though, because I mean, we don't really know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
He's got little baby hands. So
you get a pole wrestle. I mean, the guy's a hand model. He knows what to do with his hands. So you could
run into just trouble. Say, I can't do this. I'm going to ruin my hands.
I can't. Yeah.
And then I won't make any money.
Like, what's his face and scaring me. It's like, take my good hand. You know?
Exactly. That's probably it. Or like he'll pull a Chet, like when Chet split his chin open. I can't risk my face. It's my money maker. Get the hell out of here. Then don't join a show that's physical.
I think I would actually throw it if I'm trying to get rid of Nehemiah, which let's put things into perspective. Derek, like him and Nehemiah were already as is kind of button heads on the last one, I think. So I would probably look with the decision of trying to get Nehemiah out as opposed to just throwing in a weaker person. If I know that Nehemiah is going to gun for me anyway, I'm probably just trying to get him out. So I think I would actually throw Latarian in.
Yeah. If I wanted to give him a hard
Strategy-wise,
time,
that's
Latarian would be a good one.
smart, yeah.
Or Tyler, because Tyler is, I mean, he's a little stockier, but I think he's probably still really strong and he's really smart. So depending on what the elimination could be, you could definitely take him out. For Ayana, I don't know, because it's like another one where it's like it's been so long since we've seen her. We don't know really what she could do.
And has she ever even done like a elimination?
I don't
Because it
know.
was just all like it was all
Because
voting.
Battle of the
so
Sexes were
exactly.
just like you just got voted out.
Voted off. She
Yeah.
was on both.
Yeah.
She was on both Battle of the Sexes. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it's-
votes.
Yeah, she slept in her uniform. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like maybe
The girls' side's going to be a lot more dicier than
Yeah,
the guys'
and
side.
And then it depends on what it is. I mean, she's a bigger girl. So, I mean, if it's, I don't know how she is on like puzzles or whatever. So
Yeah.
if it's a puzzle, you just don't know.
yeah, I don't.
I love this
God,
show.
I don't know.
Just don't know.
I don't know who I would put in as Jody and if against Ayana. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe Janelle swing big.
Yeah, if I wanted to get rid of Ayana, probably maybe Janelle. If I wanted Ayana to win, probably Jasmine or Casey.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Actually, you know who might not be a bad option to try and take out Ayana and would also not create a lot of waves would probably be Sophia.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
I think they stack up very evenly against each other.
Yeah, size wise, they're pretty even. And it's been an equal amount of time.
Yeah,
for both.
I think Tina would stack up against her too, though.
I wouldn't want to piss Tina off that fast.
That's the thing.
I would
You
never
don't-
want to piss Tina off.
You
but
don't
I'm
create
just
any
saying
waves.
she
You don't
would.
create any waves by throwing Sophia in. You potentially kill two birds with one stone. You know what I mean? You potentially take Ayana out, and also like Sophia's not gonna have like the political pull to like really get you in any trouble.
Mhm. Yeah. So again, we don't have an elimination this episode, which is a sad face. They don't really show like a clip of next week's episode. It's not like on the regular season where like right afterwards they kind of show you what will happen. But we do see clips for the remainder of the season period, and it looks wild.
It looks amazing.
Like what we have all come to know and love about the challenge. I mean, you have hysterics, you have crazy eliminations that aren't like gimmicky, and like the same with the dailies. Like they're not gimmicky, and that's what the problem is on the main seasons now. Is it's too gimmicky. There's explosions and there's like all this unnecessary verbiage and these unnecessaries do this and that.
Ropes on fire for no reason.
And they can't even film the dailies correctly half the time because they're too fucking complicated. Like, I prefer this kind of stuff. I'm excited to see what kind of elimination.
Well, and it's very telling that people, I don't know what the stats are for AllStars, but just from members in our group or whatever, to see how excited people are for that. And they're just over the regular challenge. And with their ratings plummeting, you would think they would take a step back and go, maybe we should fix this.
Back to the basics.
You know?
Yeah, you would think. I mean,
Or fire a certain producer that's up Josh's ass, and maybe then things can turn around.
It's a kinetic energy going on amongst like the fandom and community right now in the challenge. That's just like I don't know I can't even pinpoint the last time where like every single, what is it, Thursday the episodes come out, every single Thursday, it's almost like in unison. Everybody's like, oh, it's challenge day, like, but like a legit challenge day, not like, oh, it's challenge day again. Like with the main show, everybody's like legitimately excited for the All-Stars show. And it's just like, just a kinetic energy of just like, excitement. Like people are like legitimately enjoying this. And it's like a beautiful sight to see. And it's like a site that I feel like we haven't had with the main show in a while, and I miss that feeling. You know what I mean? And I'm
I do
glad that
too.
we
Totally 100% agree with that. Yeah.
we all got something that is authentic and fun, just fun. So let's just say that fun.
Fun,
I think
right.
we all could agree that's what
Yeah.
we are missing.
Like I said, the whole vibe is just different.
Yeah.
Just everything about it's different and better.
I agree. And it's the authenticity is what's missing from the regular season. I mean, we know it's reality television. We know sometimes things are edited or dramatized or exaggerated, and people will play up certain characters of themselves because it's to make it exciting, because otherwise it'd be fucking boring and they're bored. But it's like, you can tell on the regular seasons now that it's fake. I mean, even Corey came out and said like the fakeness is unfucking real. Like they're all going on fucking vacations together before and
Like
after the
that.
show.
Amanda.
It's like they're putting on these masks once the show starts, and it's like it's almost like it's not even a reality show anymore. It's almost like they're playing like a
Scripted.
yeah,
Like a
like
reoccurring character.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a sitcom. Like it's almost like they're playing like roles or variations of themselves, not who they really are. You know what I mean? Like
Except
and the vets.
Amanda.
The vets seem comfortable. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's really making any boss moves. Everyone's just kind of chilling. Like it's like almost as if everybody knows like we're coming back. We don't have to do anything. Our check's secured for the next season. So let's just chill, and nobody does anything. Everybody just kind of is
boring.
content. Yeah. And that's why we've gotten a boring product.
And the fact that people dislike this season, not even because some of the complaint was there's so many rookies, and it's not like it used to be like we don't know most of these rookies. But I think even a bigger complaint is the vets are fucking boring this season.
Yeah.
They are terrible.
The rookies were more entertaining for sure.
Yes, except Amanda Frankie, we know. I mean, and we talked about earlier, we know Corey's not going to be on next season. Big T's not going to be on next season. Ashley's probably not going to get asked to be on next season after what happened. Amanda's probably not going to be on next season. So what they're going to just get 20 rookies this time and bring back 10
There is that
vets?
show called The Real World. I mean, I'm just saying,
They could
like,
bring that back, even grab some people off of there. There's like tons of vets we would like to see come back. I mean, hello. Like, if I have another fucking season of Tori, Nani, Casey, Fessy, Josh, and then I'm sure, now Emmanuel, aka Jordan 2.0, and he's not even interesting.
He
Like,
gives me creeps. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
keep it out. And even
Emmy is
Logan,
the most
pretty
entertaining
that he
rookie.
is so boring.
Emmy's the
Who?
most entertaining
I like
rookie that's
Emmy.
still there.
Yeah, but she's probably not going to be asked back either.
I think I'm like the
Ugh.
only person that likes her.
I like her.
I like her. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, I don't know if she's going to get asked after.
Frankie likes Berna for one reason.
Hate Berna.
Because she's weird.
She's weird.
Well, we could have asked her about it, but I mean, I would love to see Corey Lay come back, Michaela, Michelle.
Michaela for sure. Michelle for sure.
And these
Yeah.
seasons are so long, I even forgot they were on. Like,
I used to be really excited for more than 10 episodes of the challenge. Now I'm like, is this over yet?
Yeah.
That's sad.
like
That's really
20
sad.
episodes. That's
Honestly,
20 weeks.
The only reason I'm still watching is because CT and Kyle, and I'm not turning my back on Devin because y'all know I love Devin, but he really pissed me off this last episode. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if they've started sending out calls yet for 38. I had heard rumors that they were gonna give it a little bit of time because they know they need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, the ratings are the lowest that they've been in like 7 or 8 seasons.
Thanking.
I think it's important that they do take a break. You know what I mean? Like, I think this should serve as a drawing board experience, and not just that, a learning experience.
Mhm.
I just think that they need to let AllStars and whatever else they have on Paramount Plus, kind of going. Let that kind of take its time, settle in, and then let the fans just kind of digest that
Yeah.
before just cramming together another main show. Because
Do
I
you
think
that they will take all of that into account though? Do you really think that? Or do you think they'll just shell out another show like quickly?
probably, yeah, I think they would shell out a show rather quickly.
Exactly.
But I think that time heals all pain or all wounds, whatever it may be. And I think
True.
that regardless of what we're seeing on Wednesday nights currently, I think that if you take, say, maybe, I don't know, half a year to then produce 38, you might be met with a different reception because you haven't had it on TV for a while. So at least it lets fans kind of just take a break. I think we're all just kind of like burnt out, I would say, when it pertains to the main show, I feel.
Yeah.
So
Give us
No,
time to
that
miss
makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
that's, yes, thank you,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term. Thank you.
And I think aren't they rebooting Road Rules?
That's gonna be next year, I think. So
Yeah. That's gonna be on Paramount too, though, right?
I
yeah.
think so. But
Paramount's
maybe
killing it.
hopefully when they reboot Road Rules, and hopefully it'll also lead them to maybe kind of they never really cancel the Real World, but like kind of bring it back. And then we can start getting people from those shows again, because some of the best personalities are from those shows or people that were going to be on those shows, but were like made alternates and ended up coming on Fresh Meat. The Big Brother people are fucking boring. The only ones who weren't boring, they don't bring on anymore.
Well, isn't the Real World reunion with Beth and when does that start? Like next week?
That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Is that next week or is that the week after? Week after.
I can't wait.
The very last season of the Real World, I think I'm like one of 5 people that actually watched it because it was
the one that was on Facebook.
I don't want to see any of those people on there. Yeah,
I watched that one.
Did
You watched the Facebook one?
Yeah.
I was literally like this close to being on that one, and then they like cut me the last round.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Don't lie. Really?
I'm not. I'll show you guys all my receipts. I have like all the emails and like the
Frankie.
calls.
You could have been the
Luckily, I wasn't
outlier,
on there. It was a
Frankie. Come on.
It was a flop. Luckily, I wasn't on there.
You could have been the outlier, Frankie.
We might have all fallen in love with you or something.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I
that
may
probably
not
definitely would've
remember your
happened.
name though, because I don't think I remember any of their names.
Exactly. Luckily, I wasn't on it.
I remember the one girl that was like from Brooklyn and she like didn't shave her armpits. She was really cool. But I don't remember her name.
I don't either.
And what is it? I think the one girl's name was like Tova, who was like in the relationship with that like verbally abusive redneck who was like the fan vote.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, do they really cut me for all these people? Because that's pretty lame.
They did. They're pretty lame, Frankie. I'm sorry.
I legit only remember those 2, the blonde and the girl that didn't shave her pits. I don't remember anything else on the show.
Yeah, I don't either. And I watched that whole season too.
Yeah, I did too. Embarrassingly admitting that.
They're dedicated.
Dedication for sure. Well, guys, that wraps up the recap of episode 1 of the AllStars season 2. Like we said, you can find us on YouTube at the Unbothered Podcast. We're also on Spotify at the Unbothered Podcast. Facebook, if you want to join our fan groups for the Challenge Unbothered and Entertainment Unbothered. Instagram, Challenge Unbothered, and Twitter, Unbothered Pod 1. Don't forget to also check out Mike Lewis's podcast, where, like we said, he interviews all sorts of different cast members from over the years of the show. A lot of them are very fantastic, so definitely check it out. Thank you again, Mike, for joining us. We enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time chatting with us, doing this little recap breakdown, and definitely join us again.
Yeah, I'm very appreciated that you guys invited me. I had such a fun time chatting with you guys, and I really like the vibe that you guys have going on with your Facebook group. It's definitely a very warm vibe. So if you guys that are watching this aren't in that already, I would suggest go ahead and join that if you're interested in getting involved in Facebook groups pertaining to the challenge.
Unless you're oversensitive, in which case don't join.
Yeah, what she said.
Because
Hence,
we'll just kick you
unbothered.
out. You have to be unbothered for the most part, like unbothered. So thank you guys again. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But like I said, check us out, subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.